There is new movement today on President Trump's promise to impose tariffs on pharmaceutical imports. The Commerce Department has launched an investigation into whether certain drugs may threaten national security, which could lead to tariffs. This, as experts warn, shortages in life-saving drugs could be the result of tinkering with supply chains. For more on this, let's bring in our medical columnist, Dr. Melissa Lim. We appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. So in the past, prescription drugs have been exempted from tariffs, but it's something the president has been bringing up time and time again. Are you hearing anything from concerned patients?
I would say my patients have definitely brought up their concerns around tariffs and the overall effects on the economy. Just last week, I had a conversation with a patient who came in, needed antibiotics, and then mentioned that he and his friends had been thinking about establishing an antibiotic factory in BC to deal with supply chain issues. But I would say overall, these concerns about drug costs reflect their overall concern about increasing issues with affordability as these policies continue to be put into place.
Are there any specific drugs or a generic set of drugs that patients have expressed more concern about than others?
Well, thankfully, we do manufacture a lot of drugs here in Canada, and we do import a lot of medications also not from the U.S. But I will say that we are increasingly familiar with drug shortages and drug accessibility issues here in Canada for a number of reasons over the past few years. One is supply chain issues because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and another one is climate change-induced disasters that have actually taken out factories where these drugs are created. So I think one thing that we have to do is look at our national there's a task force that looks into dealing with drug shortages, and perhaps they should really refocus their efforts on protecting our drug supply by bringing more drug manufacturing here within Canada.
Now, this research raises concerns about drug availability, affordability, supply stability. Is it a real concern of yours that patients may be cut off, or at least have not as best access as they normally would?
Well, initially, if the U.S. exerts tariffs on Canada, American drug prices will go up, but these could have knock-on effects and kind of ripple effects within Canada. So manufacturing costs could go up here in Canada. Also, the Canadian dollar could get weaker, and so we could eventually see higher drug costs here in Canada, and it is a concern.
And lastly, we appreciate your time. What would you tell a patient who says, I'm not sure I can afford this medication anymore?
Well, number one, I would say if you haven't enrolled in Fair Pharmacare, this is a province-wide program where the government can help subsidize the cost of medications and medical supplies. Make sure you enroll. And then also, if you're a younger patient, like 25 or under, if your parents have a health insurance plan, ensure you're enrolled in that. Look into generic medications. But also, I want to make the point that about 60% of disease within Canada is due to lifestyle factors, like issues with diet or exercise. And of course, there are lots of different conditions that require medications. But if it is one of those lifestyle-related conditions, make sure you're exercising regularly, eating a healthy plant-rich diet, sleeping enough, spending a lot of time outside, because this is going to reduce our overall reliance on medications. And also communities and governments should be investing in measures to make this easier, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
We've heard that before, certainly. Dr. Melissa Lim, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.